Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Tyranny with me, Bring It On. Before I forget, I'm going to use some consumables here, just to burn through them, and also to have the buffs up preemptively, in case we run across any trouble down in the canyon. Rocky slope. Several I assume boulders, are clustered underneath the edge of this cliff. With enough care, you may be able to scale the rocks down to the dry riverbed. Climb carefully down the rocky slope with a 101 athletics check. It's a pretty hefty requirement.
Can't do that. Can't do that.
Alright, there's a ramp on this side. Because this is blocked off right here. Good to know.
I'll stay downwind of our enemies.
It's a good idea, Barrick. I see a trap right there, I think.
Another bat.
Alright, before we engage... buff up right here. This will also prevent us from running across the trap. They should trigger it when they run across it, right?
Do you have eyes on this?
Alright, Barrick. Or not Barrick, Lantry, get your other buffs out. Like that. Verse is trapped right now, but that's what she got around. But not for long.
It's gotten quite long, but
I called a battle for Barrick. Apply the lash for Verse. Then our other buffs.
there's room for...
Let's see. Put a haste on Barrick when he's done doing that. And I guess healing aura on Barrick as well.
You got it.
I'll hit you twice. Our next time. I'd have it no other way.
Alright, so you knock him down first, and then skewer him.
For the glory of Kyros!
Barrick, you can heal yourself up, I think. My character's still buffing everybody up. It's kind of a shame, because my character does hit the hardest out of all of my companions by a significant margin, but he spends so much of his time buffing.
I'll take care of it.
Alright, Sunder this guy. Only 56% chance to hit. Go after this guy instead, then I go. Holy crap. 145 damage, yeah. Yeah, Donald is no pushover. That is for sure. Oh, that's one down. Verse? Oh, she can hit both of them with Sweeping Death. Let's do that.
Pity you won't enjoy this as much as I do.
A very, very good ability. Alright, so I'm gonna have her focus this guy instead. Hopefully my main character kills this Resolute Blade here, because he has that ability on his weapon. I keep forgetting about it. Rejuvenating, so accelerates recovery on kill. So I guess for every kill, he's already down to 1 second recovery. Oh, rejuvenating, he only needs to get 1 kill. Minus 100% recovery time. That's insane. Okay. Because the minimum you can have is 1 second recovery time. That's crazy. I wonder if it lasts until combat ends or if it has a timer on it. 8.9 seconds. I'll try to have him getting all the killing blows then, just so he has that absurd recovery time. Because that is absurd. Especially for how hard he hits.
I will aid you.
Not a problem, boss. Consider it done.
Thrust should be off cooldown. Yep. And Barrick, go ahead and smack this guy around. Alright, easy
got
peasy.
it.
I could bend that apart.
Titan's Hoof. The samurai is wrapped in the hide and made of crude materials, neither of which reduce its intimidating aspect. A direct hit would shatter more than just one's focus on their task at hand. +2 might. That sounds really good as well. It's already a masterwork. How's it compare to my current weapon? Better DPS, better recovery, better armor penetration, less range. I mean, I know I was just talking up Mercy, but +2 might's nothing to shake a stick at either. I don't want to get rid of the spear, because that comes in handy when we run across positioning issues, so... Oh, it's one-handed. Never mind. Hey, Barrick. +2 to might. I mean, it's better DPS and better armor penetration. I don't want to not use an artifact. That's so good. Oh, we'll sit on it for now. I'll decide later what I'm going to do with that. Because that's, it's really good.
Sorry, I can't.
+2 to might. I wish it was two-handed, because then it'd make the choice a lot easier, but...
Sorry,
Oh,
I can't.
that's not a way forward. This is all just a dead end. Alright, across the bridge. There is some more unbroken to break.
Have a look here. That wasn't so hard.
Another cleansing charm. Oh, we already have one of those. We don't even need another cleansing charm anyway, because our helmet has that same effect. Because it's just immunity to poison, right? Yeah.
Have a look here.
I saw the trap warning. I don't see the trap. Oh, there it is. Titan's Knuckle. Another one-handed weapon that gives you +1 might. The sizable, if primitive mace is weighted to deliver skull-shattering blows. It's just a worse version of the Titan's Hoof that we... Or the, what's it called? Yeah, Titan's Hoof and Titan's Knuckle. I mean, I see some very potent dual wielding here. +3 might for having both those
Will do.
equipped.
Can't do that.
I don't remember if we read this last time we were here. The boat that once encircled Sentinel Stand has long since succumbed to the harsh environment. Standing water and patches of moist dirt are all that remain.
If only Stalwart had surrendered years ago. Such.
Damp mission report. This favored mission report dates back to 430 TR. One entry stands out from the meticulously organized whole. It describes an evening patrol where the soldier spotted a crimson spear, meeting with a stalwart captain. Whoever wrote the log must have intended on reporting it to their superior officer, but fell in battle before they had the chance. So that should be more evidence against...
Carnage.
Yeah, the Scarlet Chorus. Well, good. More evidence against the voices in rot is always a good thing, since we are sided with Graven Ash.
Have a look here.
Ooh, a diamond. That's the first diamond that we found. Let's see what this well is all about. Dry well. An abandoned well with a rusted gear wheel. You use brute strength to force the wheel to turn and bring up the bucket. $200 rings.
Sorry, I can't.
I appreciate your help, but it's still the matter of this rust storm. Our troops won't be able to advance until the tornado is dispatched once and for all. I show the steadfast insignia. I was told this artifact might clear the path through the storm. That thing looks more like a cloak pin from here. These winds haven't been kind to my eyes. She nods toward the wind wall. If it can get us through the storm and into the heart of Sentinel's stand, I won't question the will of Kyros. Lead on, Fatebinder.
Can't do that.
Alright, a maelstrom of rust and dirt swirls at deadly speed before you. Getting any closer from where you currently stand would mean certain death. Peer into the storm. Try and take a closer look into the storm. The thick clumps of dirt and rusted iron block most of your view into the storm. You can vaguely make out the silhouette of a distant structure, which can only be the inner keep of Sentinel's stand. Alright, use the steadfast insignia. With the steadfast insignia up towards the storm. Which to my understanding it shouldn't dissipate the storm, it should just prevent us from being knocked down by the storm, or being affected by it. The wind wall parts as you hold the steadfast insignia aloft. Dust and debris swirl around a cone-shaped absence projected before you, which stretches into a tunnel of breathable air. The insignia's jewels begin to glow brightly, as if invigorated by this parting of the winds. Whatever dormant state the artifact occupied, it is now awake and full of new potential, should you desire to use it. Does that mean I can equip it? Oh, it's an artifact. Well, I mean, we knew it was an artifact, but it's an artifact. +3 resolve. Grant nearby allies resolve an increased resistance of being knocked prone or pushed back. These effects scale with the steadfast insignia's renown. So we've read this first part. A fashioned likeness of a stalwart battle standard. This emblem was worn by every first regent since the realm was carved from the stone of the tears. Originally nothing more than an officer's finery, the steadfast insignia swelled into popularity as those who wore it earned their deserving titles as war heroes. The insignia developed a reputation as the architect of victory over time, and the circuit of success on the battlefield. As its recognition grew, the armies of Stalwart learned to rise up against any odds when the insignia was present. A streak that held with admirable consistency, the insignia was lost amid Stalwart's war against the Northern Empire. So +3 resolve. I mean, it's a straight upgrade to the Fatebinder's seal.
Oops, I broke it. Oh, just kidding.
Oh, she doesn't have anything equipped. What am I doing? Kills in Shadow has her other item. But that works. Alright, let's head to Sentinel Stand. The Inner Keep.
Curious how that artifact left the path open behind us. Others are likely to follow in our footprints.
I think this is also the first artifact we've gotten where it's just a passive ability. It's not an active that you can use. I might actually give this to gonna give this to Verse instead.
Shiny. I like it.
Because she's gonna be in melee combat up around, my 2 other companions. So they'll all get the benefit of the effect, where Lantry is usually on the back line. The walls of this keep have been beaten and chipped away by both the storm and the bitter clash between the disfavored and the unbroken. Can it be? A figure approaches through the storm. The Regent Skyblade seems ready to approach and welcome you. Dawning realization comes to her expression as she hoists up her weapon in a stance of challenge. Announce yourself, invader. We haven't sat in the eye of the storm this long to become slaves of Kyros. Take us to Stratus Hiriden. A barrack advances on the guard with a menacing air. I don't want to hear any more of your petty threats or how much you love your country. Deliver us the serpent at the heart of this nest. Whoa there, big boy. I just watched the storm all day. Stratus is behind the walls. She glances in your direction with wonder. The insignia. The sentry lets out a startled yell. Someone bearing the Regent's insignia comes this way. She squints to make you out in the storm. Why have you come, stranger? Yeah, I'm just gonna roar over the volume of the storm. Skyblade's weapon wavers in her hand, and her face turns an unhealthy pallor. She seems equally poised to drop it and run, or make a careless swing to open some distance between you two. She furrows her brow and regains her bearing, advancing on you. You think I haven't screamed into the storm before? That my desperation to see home again hasn't ripped from my throat when I least suspected? You think I haven't breathed in my weight in rust and debris? That my throat isn't as raw and parched as yours? Then come at me, and we'll see who roars the loudest. Alright, then I guess that didn't work.
Words would cause.
Let's do this. Haste barrack.
I'm afraid not.
Alright, try to knock this guy down. Give him the old 1-2. Alright, Barrett, go throw out your taunt.
On with my weapon.
I will aid you.
Hey, you won't
Alright, then we should be able to hit both of these guys with False Pit.
enjoy this as much as I do.
Get back here!
Alright, and Unravel Minds. That should just about do it. Let's use Cleave here.
On your knees, world!
Oh, not that I need to now. Alright, catch him on fire and
Will do.
thrust.
Will do.
Easy peasy.
Sorry, I can't.
Massive spikes split apart the castle walls here, the result of tremendous winds that passed through long ago. I don't know how winds would make the spikes, but
There! See that?
Can't do that.
did I hear roaring a minute ago? The sentry trembles with his weapon drawn. I can only guess that that's my countryman gore in your boots, invader. I warn you that I'm ready to put up a better fight. Your fragile shrieks won't unnerve me. Out of my way, peon. No amount of stalwart rats can keep me from wrapping my hands around the Regent's throat. Stand aside or join the fate of your doomed master. His eyes widen. If you mean the Regent harm, then I'm honor bound to stop you. I won't hesitate to lay my life down to protect Stalwart's ruling bloodline. Fool, did no one tell you that Kyros has all but ended the regents in their weak line? Now these storms will rage until Hiriden dies. By the time he gathers the courage to take matters into his own hands, the country you protect will be no more. A voice bellows from the other side of the portcullis. Stay your weapons and raise the gate. I would speak with our guest. He looks over his shoulder and frowns. Step forward and present yourself then. Keep a respectful tongue, and you won't have any trouble. A Stalwart's ruler looks at you with a mixture of caution and amazement. His gaze lingers on the steadfast insignia. That explains how you're able to pierce the winds. But why have you come? Not to liberate an enemy, I think. He squints. The long isolation has taken its toll, but we aren't deaf to news of the outside world. I think I recognize a fate binder when I see one, so logic follows that you are the keeper of Vendrian's will. Hiriden. Beric pounds his fist together hard enough to shake the earth. Come out and face us, coward. You've dodged this reckoning long enough. The regent blinks. Do I know you? Your face, the little I can make of it, eludes me. He sniffs and returns his attention to you. Your friend here seems a mite unstable for emissary work. You're not wrong. I'd say he's unstable for any kind of work. We survived in the Overlord's prison for over a year. I live on, and so the regent bloodline endures. Even the disfavored couldn't breach Kyros' wind wall when the edict crashed upon our heads, but I'm less certain how you managed. He regards you with a hint of resignation. You didn't travel this far to deliver terms of surrender, did you? The storm is destroying your people. Surely you must see the madness in prolonging the inevitable. I'm not ignorant of my part in this equation. The edict can only be ended with the blood of the last regent, just as Kyros decreed. He nods. I must warn you, I haven't survived this long only to be cut down by Kyros' lapdog. I endured the war, the disfavored suicide march, and the long isolation of this storm. I won't make it easy. Kyros drafted the Edict of Storms to punish the defenders of Stalwart for hiding behind the walls of their keep. The wording of the edict specifies that the death of Stalwart's ruling family will end the storm. To this day, locals are welcome and encouraged to assassinate their former ruler. What was that about a disfavored suicide march? In the second year of the war, my personal forces captured one of Graven Ash's elite legions. We divided their numbers for our own protection, some here, others at Duskwatch, with plans of bargaining with Ash for their lives. You preyed on the Archon's love for his troops, monster. The war came to a, shall I say, climactic stalemate when a disfavored force amassed around Sentinel's stand to drive us out and liberate our prisoner. A thoughtful expression overcomes him, but he dispels it with a shake of his head. The rest, as you know, is history. Before the disfavored could finish their desperate attack, the edict swept up my people, Nash's legion, like they were made of straw, battering bones and iron into so much dust that now swirls about our heads. I remember that day too well. If you had but surrendered, then hundreds of Northerners and Southerners alike would have been spared. Stalwart bows to no one, you armadillo of rust and entropy. Hiriden grimaces at Beric and shakes his head. Your presence alone dirties these noble defenses. Yet a true leader would have fought to the very end, rather than hide here. Your doubt is understandable, but why should I have fought a losing battle? Stalwart's regents have always endured where others fell. In Sentinel's stand, I could outlast any enemy. And how could I have known that Kyros would be so exacting in punishment? You could have ended this edict long ago. You mean by suicide or execution by the hands of my countrymen? His expression withers. That would betray the dignity of my station and the honor of my soldiers alike. And caving to the Overlord's will would lose the very thing which makes Stalwart great, our perseverance. I took no pleasure in watching storms ravage my country, here from the safety of the eye. I have suffered the weight of that decision every day, but I would never second guess it. Your burden is nothing to mine, or that of your people. To consign your country to this is unforgivable. When Kyros called on Ash to submit, he chose his soldiers' lives over his pride. You're a coward. I'll see you die like one too. What have you gained from this long stalemate, beyond the hatred of your people? He hesitates to answer at first, then screws his face into a grimace. The people do not know what is best for Stalwart. We need a strong leader who understands the traditions of the realm, whose blood is a part of that storied heritage. If they spite me for preserving our strength here and outlasting the war, so be it. I did not accept this mantle for adoration. What have I gained? I've kept Stalwart alive in this self-imposed prison, whatever else you may think. The desperation to reach this place and end my life only confirms the righteousness of that decision, as hard as it has been. Yeah, you're blind to reason. There's no recourse but to end your life. Our definitions of reason come from very different places, a Fatebinder. As the Overlord's vassal, you're accustomed to one-sided negotiations and ultimatums that preclude any open dialogue. He nods. By your standpoint, I must seem unreasonable indeed. He raises his voice for all to hear. As a regent of the great realm of Stalwart, I eject you from any courtesy or invitation that holds you to these walls, and banish you from my lands. Would anyone else like to make an empty gesture? Seems there are plenty to go around. Typical that the attendants of Kyros present no agreeable terms. You may distort the histories to reflect that I've forced this confrontation. But everyone here will remember that when your overlord locked me in an impossible choice, I chose Stalwart. Hiriden turns away and heads through the portcullis. I don't like how Lantry keeps ending up in the front of the formation during conversations.
Look at that.
It's not a good place for him to be.
Will do.
Major course.
I'm getting. Too old for this.
Alright, let's do that, and something like that.
You got it.
Alright, Barrick, lay down the law for me. Go do something like that. Good job, Verse. That's one down. I'm gonna light this guy on fire.
You got it.
And false pit this guy. Alright, Sunder and Thrust. And Unravel Minds on these two.
No dice.
Wait! I didn't. That. Nice!
Alright. Let's use some magic, some pomp and flare, and let's see, haste Barrick.
Get out,
take
you
care
little
of
shit.
My blood. I will aid you.
Alright, Verse, finish that up, please. Then go after this
You
guy.
got it. You got it.
Let's see. I hit all three of them. Sweet.
Harsh words would cause more harm than this useless weapon.
Then we have one more AoE spell. Where's it at? The Power of Ice. And that's all she wrote. And I have to use a single
Can't do
healing
that.
spell there. Easy peasy. Broken Spear. Its former spear has long since outlived its usefulness as a weapon. The most it could offer now is a tool for punishing unruly soldiers, or source of leverage. It's the first one of those we found before. Oh.
Sorry.
So I just straight up leave if I want. So I can open up any path through the storm. Well, that's interesting. Not at all what I was expecting. This winch is battered and appears barely functional. Looks like I could break at any moment. I mean, I could use the broken spear, or I could use my guns. So use brute force to turn the spool. And if I can, why wouldn't I? I don't know if I want to start another fight yet. If there's only 2 up here. Nope, there's a lot more than 2.
Send me your.
Well, I guess we're committed now. Oh, let's get our defensive buffs up so we can put all of our other buffs up. Like so.
Right.
Damn thing.
Alright, they're gonna be terrified. Let's actually get Verse back here. Like so. And do this. Actually, I might hit all 3 of these guys with this. Yeah, perfect. And what I'll do is knock these guys down with False Pit, so they can't run away from her ability. Barrick, you throw a taunt over here. I need to use a potion, and then I'm going to put buffs on everybody. Barrick and Verse. Then Healing Aura on my main character. To keep him in the fight for a little longer.
Not happening.
I'm actually going to use that. Let's see. This will be good here, I think. Ooh, that's really good. Alright. My character is still using leadership buffs, so...
This weapon is useful.
This will be busy for just a minute. Let's try and knock this guy down, followed by Skewer. Let's go and haste Barrick, and then buff everybody. Alright, let's heal up Verse, 'cause she's taking a bit of a beating. She's trying to tank 3 people right now, which is not her job. In fact, let's go ahead and use this on her as well. Let's see. Yeah, erase the record.
Can't I hit
So just keep her in the fight a little longer, in case things start to go sideways.
anything?
Perfect. Been waiting for that to come off cooldown for a little while now. It's so good. I think it's my favorite capstone ability, besides maybe Undying and the leadership tree. But yeah, Sweeping Death is just... It's only a 14-second cooldown, too. Which is even more insane.
Damn thing can pierce cloth.
Harsh words can cause more harm than this useless weapon.
Alright, what else do we got? False Pit these guys.
That's one.
I can hit him with both with Cleave, right? No, he's out of range. I'll use magic then. Hit him with some fire damage. And another Sweeping Death, I guess. Might finish them both off. Not
Damn
quite.
thing couldn't pierce cloth.
I'm injured.
Well, that's a bit of a doozy, but we got it.
Tired.
We got it done.
Let's rest.
Might we not simply break it?
Ooh, Elixir of Might. So that's a permanent upgrade. I'm going to quick save and make sure that it is my main character that's getting it. So soldiers drink the Elixir of Might to augment the damage inflicted as a result of their attacks. They're loath to rely on strength from an external source. The disfavored concocted this elixir for their Earthshaker allies, to prove their martial prowess and spellcasting effects. Not taken casually, it is best served before shattering fortifications, or upsetting local geology. Yep, there we go. Plus 1 might permanently.
I got it. Sorry, I can't.
Alright, I'm going to call the episode here. In the next one, we'll continue our assault on Sentinel Stand. Or I guess Stalwart as a whole. Is that Hiriden right there? Either way, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.